Hello, and thank you so kindly for tuning into my channel, Miss Brown Eyes, on this beautiful, 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 blessed day today. A terrific day, because so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So we think upon things that bring a good report. So our thinking upon things that brought a good, beautiful day today. So we are just enjoying today and living within the moment and making it count for something. Okay, so well, I was just thinking about things that bring a good report, of course, and I was just thinking, looking at the condition of the world, and I try to keep my eyes off of the negative things, but at the same time, there are things that are happening in the world that we have no control of. And we really don't have control over the things per se. I think this time is specifically should be for building on ourselves and our mind frame within ourselves in this time and in this season. Um, I think that you can prepare physically for a certain things, but I think that certain things are inevitable, and you're gonna have to go through certain things. I think that a lot of people go through a lot of certain unnecessary things. I say unnecessary because of the way that we think and because of the misinformation that we were fed. I think a lot of reactions are based on things that I think the battle of the mind. I think that we're in a spiritual warfare, and in fact, I know that we're in a spiritual warfare. So a lot of times, people's minds are just not on one accord. I think deep down in people's heart that they would want to be on one accord and perhaps do the right thing. But it just seemed like like in the Bible it says that every time I try to do right, evil is always present. Have you ever noticed that? I'm just saying, hey, we family, we just talking here. Have you ever noticed that every time you try to put your best foot forward and do the right thing, even when all the wrong things are around you, it just seemed like the negative thing is the thing that you find yourself always doing. It's so crucial, and it's not an easy thing, obviously. If even in the Bible, even knowing that the Bible has been compromised, there's still some vital things in the Bible. I think that it is crucial to our growing spiritually. And I think that when the Bible tells us to walk by faith and not by sight, um, because it knows that there is a negative element out here that is full of deceit and preys on the unawareness or the dumbed downness of the masses. You know what I'm saying? If you're not searching for truth, if you're not trying to better yourself, and a lot of times you're gonna have to make mistakes. I'm talking about make critical mistakes. Knock yourself in the steady bouncing on the wall per se. You know what I'm saying? In order to realize that there is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because you get so caught up. We as people, we can get so caught up on the mundane of the everyday living, just the basics, just the basics now of just trying to maintain an everyday life that we miss it. You know what I'm saying? Let alone trying to build ourselves up. We're too busy, I think, on a day-to-day basis. I think we as people live our lives catering to other people pretty much, and that is, I think that's true. If you go into a job and if you interact, and if you're forced to interact with other people to get your money, honey, then you're forced uh to do things that you don't want to do, and then then that's a job for you. So that's not your time, that's the company's time. So you really don't have time to put into yourself, to talk to yourself, which you could talk to yourself anytime, but to really uh give yourself that self time that I think we all need. I think that's what prepares us to go out and to face the challenges of today when we're dealing with people, because people are full of spirits, as we all are. Not all of them are good spirits. They're negative spirits as well. So, like I stated in a couple of my previous posts, I am on a spiritual journey. I try to promote or provoke thought. I just want to awaken, perhaps, awareness. And the things that you may be challenged with that you probably don't understand, which I don't think anybody should not understand things that's going on today now, because it's so much information out here there's no reason why you shouldn't understand everything you really should need to know. And even with it being misinformation out there, there's still a lot of truths out there. There's so much out there, so you have no right to uh you owe it to yourself to not investigate the things that really matters. And I think the things that really matters are the things of the spiritual man, the things that we need to build on, that's going to better ourselves spiritually. And of course, if we can build our spiritual man positively, then that has everything to do with the things that we say. That has everything to do with our thought process and how we think about things. And you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy for me to make this video now in hindsight, because I always have to uh thump my toes, so to speak, in order to get my attention about some things that I have to work on for me. Now, I'm not making this video per se for you or anyone else. I'm making this video for me, but you just so happen to be in on it with it. So you're being a part of my growth, and perhaps I'm being a part of your growth too, because you can't get better in anything if you're going to cover it over. Now, a lot of times it's so horrible to see yourself. Here lately, this is really, and I have to be honest, this here lately in 2017 is the first time that I have experienced in my heart as a woman to know that I am actually going through growing pains. Do you hear me? And growing pains, you're going to go through growing pains when you have not had a foundation or a growing book for dummies, so to speak. When you go through life through trial and error, then but you know, it's horrifying, but at the same time, it's also amazing. It is amazing. It is amazing because even though I am experiencing my growing pains as a woman, I still am so thankful that I have the understanding to understand what I'm going through and the things that it takes to make me better spiritually. I understand why I act out. I understand why other people act the way that they do now. And I had to look at myself in order to understand. Really, when you see people and they treat you bad, it's really not that person. I know that that's hard to believe, but check this out. It's really not that person. The thing that's the person that's acting out to you is not that person. It's the mess that they experience that's acting out to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's real talk. When somebody is acting out to you consistently on a negative level, and you know, it's always like that, and they're good people. I mean, because we got good people that are tormented spiritually because they don't know how to get rid of it. Me being one, but I'm on the path. I know I'm getting better. I'm getting better every day, even right now as we're speaking now. I know that because I'm doing the necessary things that it takes to make me better. I know it's gonna start with looking at myself and not trying to cover it up and not try to put myself on a pedestal, but to just call it like it is. I have been a mess because of early damages at an early age. That stuff attaches to you. Don't you know that through life we create and we pick up soul ties along the way? Not just me. No, that's everybody. That's why I say we're all connected. We're all connected. And you know, we usually do the same thing. I mean, it's so easy to identify. Everybody's just a hurting people. Everybody is damaged. Pretty much everybody is emotionally damaged goods. The only difference now is those who are aware and those who are still asleep causing more damage. You know what I'm saying? So uh you can't be so hard on the person who is awakened finally and they're working on themselves, because we as people, we can't give a time limit on when you're to get better or when you're to you know what I'm saying, treat people better, things like that. And I know it seems like we should do that, especially when we're on the negative end of that. But I'm saying that because I am on the other end. I have mistreated people with my words, but I've also treated people very lovely and very lovingly. You know, I think it's two sides to every story. I did ugly things, but I've also did good things too. I think. You know what I'm saying? Which I think we all know those things, but I think that that's still not enough. I don't think that when anytime you can say you did good and you did bad, really we can't keep count, because even if we go by the word, and I don't know the scripture right now, but the creator says that, hey, even your righteousness before me, or even your good deeds before me, is like a filthy rag. Now check it out, not just any old rag, not no rag you get out your trunk and you wipe your car down after you washed it. No, nothing like that. We're talking about a menstrual rag. Let's talk about when you done stood on ladies, when you done stood on your feet for 10 hours on a job, and you can't get to the bathroom, and you're standing on your feet on the concrete, and your body is fighting against you because that's what it do when you're putting pressure on your body. That type of menstrual rag, filthy rag. So there's nothing that we can do to justify our good behavior. There's nothing we can stand up for or justify our negative behavior. We don't have control over that to a degree. And we do spiritually, we do to a degree. And let me clear it up. We're animals. You're animals. We're all animals. Come on, people, be real. We're all animals. Think about it. We're animals. We are all animals. But we have, I mean, this body, this vessel is so filthy. Just think about it. And then even in the Bible it says that the flesh and the spirit are in enmity. They're at war constantly with one another. They can't be in agreement. There's no way. That's like oil and water. It's not gonna mix. It's each one is trying to be the dominating factor there. You know what I'm saying? So, although you can get your spiritual man down to a T, you can go to the highest level. You can do all of those things. I'm talking about you can get up there to the clouds. You can do all those things spiritually because that's what you're supposed to do. Constantly build your spiritual man because that's going to dictate what the flesh do. But make no mistake about it, you still have to cater to your flesh. You have to in order for it to live. You're gonna have to constantly give it water, food, bathe. I mean, you still got to do the things to the flesh that you don't have to do to the spiritual man. You know what I'm saying? And even those things to the flesh are gonna go to the sinful side because it's the flesh. So if we can be aware, if we can be more conscious of feeding our spiritual man and not the fleshly man, uh, and now don't get me wrong, you're feeding the fleshly man every day. You're gonna have to, but it's something about feeding that spiritual man. It's something about the mentality. It's something about what you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Now that's something amazing. That's something really powerful. In that sentence right there. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you know what I'm saying? So in other words, whatever you think about yourself, whatever your perception is, it doesn't matter what anyone else think about you. What you think about yourself is what's going to manifest through your life. You know what I'm saying? That's something to live by. That's something to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about things that bring a good report. But in these days are all about self. These things are all about feeding the spirit, the fleshly man, uh, the seasonal nourishment, not the longevity nourishment. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what society, that's not what the powers that be want out there. And then people are so dumbed down now. People are so self-righteous in their own eyes. They feel like they deserve to have the best of everything, and the best of everything here on this earth is going to be everything of the flesh. The best of everything of this world is not going to be nothing wholesome that's going to feed your spiritual man. Anything of this world is going to be something that's going to be against you. So then, I have to come into the understanding that a lot of our brothers and sisters that look like our brothers and sisters are really not our brothers and sisters. Some of our people are walking around here are soulless entities. They're just soulless. They don't have conscience. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? I don't think we should throw away our brothers and sisters who are just going through it spiritually, that don't understand that at least is trying. You know what I'm saying? If you can find a brother or sister that's on a spiritual level, that's on that's searching for better spiritual understanding of the truth of not just all of the mess that we've been taught, because so far everything we've been taught is something ain't right with it. At least we can all agree that something that we everything thus far that we've been taught, something is not right with it. Something is really crucially missing with that. Now that is really up for speculation at this point. You know what I'm saying? As you grow older and you look at the things around you, something just not making sense with that. So now you come to the realization that now you're going to have to view things in a little different way now. You're going to have to investigate further. You're going to have to not wear your emotions on your shoulders when it comes to getting a better understanding, because a lot of things that when you find out the truth of things, it's not what you're used to hearing. So it's not going to readily land unless you are one of the ones who is supposed to land on. But I digress. My main purpose of making this video today was I was just looking at how the black women need the black men. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of younger people that work around me, and you know, and it kind of helps me because I find out what's going on with the younger generation because my younger children are not going to talk to me like that because they try to put on this air like I wasn't young once myself, you know. But at any rate, I still, you know, get an idea. It doesn't mean that my children are in those things, but it gives me an idea of the mind frame of the younger generation. And one of my coworkers was telling me about a page that was created on a social media site, and it was all about some type of intimacy, grown folks talk or something like that. But she opened up the page, and really what it was is just nothing but sex talk. I mean, it was amazing to me because it was really nothing but porn, and it was most of the people on there were showing their body parts. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they was talking about was sex. It was just a created porn site, pretty much. And so I'm like, wow, you know, this what they all into, and I'm saying, man, I said, so that's what y'all doing, and she was like, yeah, you know, that's what everybody doing, and you know, everybody on these websites, and you know, and then if they're not doing that, then the young girls are on Instagram, posing up, looking pretty, and just making love to themselves, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, what is the reasoning for it? It's just unnecessary crap. But I'm saying that to say the things that are used to distract this generation is just a bunch of. I mean, they were intelligently created uh, elements or things. If you look at it, because when you look at Instagram and you look at these sites, people just show their face and just show that. I mean, they for some reason, and then people are becoming famous, mind you, off of these social medias, just for just for looking pretty. Now you can get paid for looking pretty, but you can't just be an ordinary pretty. No, you got to be enhanced pretty. You got to get the big booty Judy booty. You know what I'm saying? You got the big bouncy downcy louncy breast assist. You know what I'm saying? You got to go over and above it just to be recognized. And so it's kind of sad because our younger generation are reaching for the stars. They're reaching for a higher level of success, and their higher levels of success is always dealing in some type of way of the entertainment industry. And if you look at the entertainment industry, it is so it is so dunghill down that it is, you know. And then if you're constantly looking at all of these truths, all of these whistleblowers, and all of these conspiracy theorists, you know, airing out the dirty laundry, so to speak, and putting this stuff out here on social media, which is very good, by the way. Thank you everybody who takes the time to put out good information for the know. We need to know these things. And you know, some people are always talking negative about the white people doing those daring, stupid ass stunts and stuff like that. But hey, I say hats off to you white people, because if you didn't do all that bullshit ass, crazy ass, daring ass shit, then us, oh, scary ass black folks wouldn't know nothing about that stuff. But thank you very much for doing that for us. It helps us all. It teaches us what not to do, if nothing else. But so I just think that the social media is a setup for this generation because it is dumbing them down. It is transferring all types of perverted spirits within this youth, and they're oversexed. And I'm talking about that's all they doing is just screwing and just screwing and screwing and screwing. I mean, I'm telling you, that's all they doing. That's all the hell they doing. They just screwing. Everybody is sexed up now. Everybody is sexed up. I mean, everybody is sexed up. Even the butch dykes think they can pull you now. You feel me? I've been approached by so many young girls, and it grieves me because I have daughters. But to see another young lady who think that she can pull a grown woman, let alone a female, but a grown woman, girl gone. Look, girl gone. You know, it's how I feel. I'm never disrespectful because I understand that they got a old perverted spirit that has them, and that someone has not. You know what? I'm not gonna act like I know everything, but it is a spirit to everything. Determining by what you're going through, you can tell by what type of spirit you're facing. You know what I'm saying? If you're happy all the time, then you got something good going on the inside. Which, come on, people, let's be real. If you got some, if you're negative, you're saying negative things, or you're doing negative things, and there's something negative on the inside of you that does not need to be there. I'm telling you, I know, because I know that and it's not on an everyday basis. It's certain things that get to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm usually nice, cool, calm, and collected to people. I'm a very loving person, honey. To know me is to simply love me, and I'm not patting myself on the back. This is who I was created to be. I am this person, and I take it gratefully. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the power that I have with my words. And so sometimes I can be a bitch, and I'm being real, and I can use my words in a negative way, and I can really destroy some people, and I don't like to be that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have to be careful and mindful of who you're interacting with, because sometimes people got so much BS going on in their life. They're not being real with you, but it's showing. It's showing its face in one way or the other. It's not adding up with what they're saying. So yeah, that's gonna push you and make you act a certain kind of way, because here you are being real. You know what I'm saying? When you're grown, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. Now, when you're grown, that's all you should be, is real. At this time, when you get a certain age, you should be real. What else is there to do? Because and that is indeed what separates the boys from the men and the girls from the women, and that's real talk right there. But I think we're all growing, so I'm not just being hard on any particular anybody. I'm just pointing out the obvious of the things that I have experienced, the things that I go through dealing with men. You know, it's hard being a single woman. It was hard being a single woman. You notice I caught that. It used to be hard being a single woman, going through crap, because I didn't understand the mind frame of men and why they were acting the way that they were acting. Because it's I'm talking about from the least to the greatest, from the greatest to the least. It's always some type of self righteous pride in these men. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about they may not have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but they still got that false pride. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's just with our men, but they got this pride with them. You know what I'm saying? And this arrogance with them. You know what I'm saying? And these men think that they're God's gift to women, and even in the pitiful state that they're in now. And I think that it's sad, because there's not enough kings and queens setting positive examples now for the youth today. Yeah, that's really sad, because you already don't see too many husbands and wives really. You don't see too many. You don't see too many homes that are married. That people are married, and they're shacking up, girlfriend, boyfriends, and your dude, your girl, your hoe. You know all that bullshit of this world that's not presenting anything that's wholesome to build on a family image. You know what I'm saying? Of a positive family image, because we know that the black image is already tarnished. You know what I'm saying? So we cannot change the world. We cannot change the image of the world's image of us as black people. But I know it starts from the home first. So that's what I'm encouraging us to do. I think that if you're in a relationship, and although I'm I'm not in a relationship right now, I am in a relationship. I'm constantly in relationships. You know what I'm saying? There's all forms of a relationship. So I'm constantly in relationships with people, and I constantly want to be in relationships with people, because you need to have someone to communicate with. You need to always have someone to encourage, because when you're encouraging other people, you're only encouraging yourself. You need to always have someone available to do things for. You know what I'm saying? If you always put yourself in a servant position instead of always trying to put yourself in a leader position, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to let a higher power exhort you and put you where you need to be when it's time for you to be there. That way you won't get your feelings hurt, and everything will fall into place. There's no way you should fight against something so hard if it's for you. Think about it. Now, you start when you get a certain age, you have to live smart and not hard. You know what I'm saying? Things that used to be hard to stop doing and let go should be easy now, because you know all the mess that you had to go through with that thing. You feel me? And this is grown folks talk, real talk. Now, I'm not trying to act like I know it all, but I have learned something along the way, because, like I said, you can read all the books of life, but it doesn't mean anything until you actually physically go through it. That's like in school, you read about it, but until you actually do the things that you know about, it's nothing. It's nothing. You have to experience it physically. You have to physically experience the love, the joy, the heartache, the pain, the happiness, the sadness, the all of the elements of your emotions that mold you to who you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's the gist of it, I think. So I would like to see more of the brothers and the sisters together. I want to see the kings and the queens together. I'm promoting more unity within the homes. I think that if it's doable, I think that at a certain age, at a certain time in life, you pretty much know what you want. Let's just be real. You pretty much know what you want. You know what type of mate you're looking for. You know what type of income you need. You know pretty much what you need in order to be happy for the rest of the days of your life. And let's just be real talk. You do. So I think that what you should do is just grow up. You know, try to do it differently. Try to take a chance on doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that everybody's out here living foul, but I can pretty much assume that everybody's out here living the way they think it's supposed to be done. But if you investigate from the past and from the origin of our ancestors and our way back then when they had no choice but to stick it out, you know what I'm saying? They were smarter then. Then you'll see a little bit more hope. But if you look at the images of the couples today, they're staying in relationships for money's sake. Like you said, it's cheaper to keep us, so they feel like it's better to stay with somebody, put up with all the bullshit. At least they bills is paid while they just being tormented emotionally every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. I am not doing it, honey. And I ain't gotta be single for the rest of my life. My king is on his way to me, honey. In fact, he is already around me. I am just working on me, constantly preparing myself so that he can get the queen that he deserves. You feel me? And I think that that's how we all should be. I don't think we should settle, but at the same time, I think we should prepare ourselves for the things that we want. I think it's better to have a mate. Don't you want somebody? I think you need somebody. I think that it's better having someone in this day and time so that you can get more things accomplished and so that you can be peaceful. That's what it's about. This is what it's about. It's about growth within the home. That's what it's about. It's about the family now. It's not about raising the community anymore because the community is not always like-minded. You have to be prepared to walk this thing alone, even if it means you walking physically alone or just you and your dude or you and your girl. You hear me? You might just have to do that. Is that so bad? Is it? No, that's probably the best thing for you. But at any rate, I thank you so much for listening to Miss Brown Ass today on this beautiful, beautiful day. I ask that you please like, subscribe, perhaps leave me a comment. Let's interact. Let's talk about this. I would love to hear a man's view on this thing. I mean, I know that the sisters are in trouble, but I know the brothers are in trouble too. But have you ever considered that sometimes when a man is doing so bad in certain areas of his life, he needs a woman to come and lift him up, real talk. And a lot of times when a woman, she have all these beautiful attributes and all these qualifications and all these gifts and all these things, but it's misguided because of the burden that she's been having to tote, that sometimes all she need is a hell of a king. Do you hear me? To change it all and to make things happen for a positive thing, and everybody can be happy then. You hear me? That even in the word it says that when it's two, you get a double reward. Because if one fall, you got someone to pick you up. When it's cold, you got someone to help you get some heat. You hear me? But when there's one, woe unto him because he gonna freeze. He ain't got nobody to pat him on the back. You know what I'm saying? Not to mean he's not gonna make it, but at the same time, it's gonna be a little bit harder on him. You can tell. Come on, brothers, you can tell because a woman's presence is undeniable. A king, a man's presence is absolutely undeniable. Don't you want to be able to come home to your house smelling all good? Your woman cooked you a nice dinner. She got the house clean. The atmosphere is full of wholesome spiritual energy, and you can't do nothing but come, honey. You float in that house. Do you hear me? I'm talking about you damn near float through all the red lights and all the lights and all the stops, and you ain't looking to your left or your right. You're going home to your family because that's your kingdom. You feel me? So it starts from home. It does. And I believe that if we can build good foundations at home, then all the other things outside, we will get them accomplished and figured out so much better because a load is lifted off of us. We're living in, we're filling shoes that we have no right to try to fill. If I'm trying to act the role as a man and a woman in my house because I'm trying to be the head of my household, then I'm out of order. If this guy is going around here screwing all these different women and not settling down and providing and taking care of his children, doing what a man's supposed to do, and then he's out of order too. It takes two. You have to come together in unity, equally yoked, like-minded. You come together on one accord, I promise you, and I don't have to promise you. That's the law of the land. You can do anything. Anything is possible then, and it ain't nothing like they're living in. You feel me? It's nothing like they're living in. Okay. All right. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I will talk to you another time. Bye. It's what you create. Thoughts transform into things by repetition.